Welcome back, everybody, to Grand Tactician, Civil War. Grandpa Gaming is episode 22 of our viewer unit only Federal Summer 61 campaign using the a.o.m mod. So, last episode, we got quite busy, got a few things done. I actually moved the game up to June 22nd, so we managed to advance the game quite a bit. Seems like we are in a period where we're going to be able to move past one-day episodes, basically, and move on to at least getting a week in-game done sometimes. So last episode, we did have the siege of Fort White occur. It was attacked by the Department of Western Florida, which we have lost sight of. I do know that it's in Frederick, though, because that is their retreat path was back to Frederick. The Engineer Corps finally finished construction of Fort Slocum over here by Drummondtown on the Delaware Peninsula. I don't know why we don't control Ononcoke Port, because we hold Drummondtown. We should hold the port. But it is what it is. And they are now down here finishing up the construction of the new fort here by Ockeye Landing, which is going to take another 60 days, which now frees up the Army East to head back to Frederick, Maryland, its home base, and hopefully engage and kick out the Department of Western Florida. And from there, they will move into Harper's Ferry. I'm hoping the Department of Western Florida just retreats away from them and just retreats back into the valley, but may end up with a combat. But I'd like to resecure Frederick as quickly as possible and at least push into Harper's Ferry, and they're going to wait there until we're done with the construction over here so that the Engineer Corps can begin construction of another fort here, blocking the northern entrance exit of the Shenandoah Valley into Maryland. We also had the Second Battle of Charleston in Western Virginia, which saw off Fields Corps, Army of Eastern Tennessee, plus a corps from the Army of Alabama. Army of Ohio's readiness is now down the red. They are stuck in place, so I do have them building a supply depot here to help get their readiness back up. But in the meantime, the new Army of the Tennessee has arrived in Cincinnati, and I am sending them down to Charleston, Virginia to secure Charleston, hopefully fully secure West Virginia, or the state of Kanawha, however you prefer to call it. And then they're going to have them head back out west again. I'm only having them make this move because the Army of the Ohio is just stuck in place for right now. They are just beat down and cannot move. So as soon as they have secured their objectives, they'll be coming back out west over here to St. Louis and possibly engaging Longstreet's Corps. Hopefully with the aid of the Independent Cavalry Corps. I don't know if I'll be able to get a link up between them, but I can't have these two corps fight separately, especially the Independent Cavalry Corps. I am really trying to get them snuck down into the Indian Territory, start securing the forts out there so that we can take that away from the rebels. And our Chesapeake Squadron fleet is now up to 5 sloops of war. Coming July, a 6th ship will be added. James River Squadron has still not come out to fight them. They do have a ship and gun advantage, but they have not used, I think 1 or 2 of the ships in this squadron may not be able to come out into the Chesapeake itself because it's too deep water for whatever ships they have in that fleet. Our landing fleet, the East Coast Squadron, is repairing at New York Harbor, and it looks like they'll be ready to go again by July. Just waiting for 2 more ships to come up to 90, at the minimum 90%, in order to go start taking on the next fortification with their guns and marines. All right, I think that covers everything for now, so we're going to jump into the historical record. And just as a reminder, everybody, these videos are always chapters, so you skip around to whichever part you do so choose. From the Journal, Major General Thomas Daywood, in headquarters at Cincinnati, Ohio, dated 21 June 1862. The men, and now women, of this newly commissioned Army of the Tennessee have completed their initial transfer by rail from Chicago to Cincinnati. Several days aboard the trains, and though the logistics were considerable, the operation was carried out with precision that speaks well of this young command. There were minor delays, one engine seized near Lafayette, and a drunken altercation in a rear car caused a brief stoppage outside Indianapolis. But in sum, the journey was smooth enough. My staff remains green, but they carry themselves with an eagerness I find encouraging. The sight of this force, 14,000 strong, their brass polished, their bayonets flashing in the June sun, might almost stir the heart of even the most cynical Washington bureaucrat. If nothing else, the Army of Tennessee looks the part. Before our journey began, I held a formal introduction with Brigadier General Vargas, commander of the 1st Division. A woman in the uniform of a general officer is still a sight I have not grown accustomed to. There are things in this war that strain belief, and yet here we are. The meeting was by the book. She approached with confidence, offered a crisp salute, and extended her hand. I returned both, though I admit I hesitated half a breath before taking her glove. General Vargas is a soldier, by all outward measure. Her uniform is immaculate, her bearing stiff as oak, her tone professional. I have been told that her division drilled daily through the snow and storm. What I've seen thus far, it shows. Her men, and yes, her women, stand straighter than most I've seen in this war. Their camp is orderly, their pickets sharp, and officers speak with respect, not fear. That is not common. Still, I remain unconvinced by this experiment in integration. War is the domain of hard men and harder choices. It demands a ruthlessness not often associated with the fairer sex. Time may yet prove me wrong, but that will be her burden to bear. For now, I shall judge her not by her uniform, but by the actions of her command. The Army rests tonight along the river's edge, and tomorrow we begin the real work, securing Kentucky's border and pressing southward. The men are ready, God willing, the officers are too. I've ordered my general staff, brigade and division commanders to a meeting tonight. I must know we're all on the same page for what lies ahead of us. I know what they say in Washington and behind closed doors in Cincinnati, that this army is a gamble, a patchwork of new recruits, unconventional commands, and untested leaders. Many doubt we'll hold the line, let alone win a fight. Perhaps they are right. But I've seen these soldiers wait patiently on coal platforms and load freight with methodical care. I have seen order imposed on chaos where none was promised. No, we're not polished. Not yet. But there is something here. Raw, restless, and perhaps even resolute. No one expects the Army of Tennessee to succeed. That may be our greatest strength. Conversation between General Daywood and General Vargas. And if no one else has anything to add to that topic, no, then you are dismissed. I'll see you at breakfast tomorrow. Good night, gentlemen. By the way, General Vargas, please stay a moment. I need to speak to you. Sir, do you need me more, or can I go back to my quarters? No, Major Obama. I can handle this myself. Good night, sir. Good night, Major. So, General, what's your story? Story, sir? I don't have much of one. I simply fought the government so I can fight for the government. I'm not sure if I understand exactly what you mean by that, General. Till today, I actually didn't know who you were and that you were, well, to be frank, a woman. Not just a female soldier, an officer as well, with a division command. I have to say, I didn't expect that. No, ma'am, I did not. I hope it's not a problem to be working alongside a woman, sir. After all, we are both here for the same purpose, driving the traders back to their plantations. Have you seen combat, General Vargas? Do you have any experience? Experience, yes, as I personally trained or had my hand in training nearly every unit in my division. Sadly, however, I've yet to see frontline combat, as the freedom fighters were transferred from the Army of the Mississippi before their first battle. However, I followed the advice given by my husband, who himself fought in the Mexican War. I also fought in the Mexican War. What was your husband's name? Zarkev Vargas, sir. He lost his left leg fighting in the Battle of Churubusco. I believe he was the 5th Massachusetts Brigade, though it might have been the 4th. Zarkev, you say? No, doesn't ring a bell. Many men lost limb and unfortunately their lives in that and other battles. Too many. Zarkev. And yes, there was a great deal of unfortunate losses during the war. I'm hoping our new corps can help prevent losses like the one that occurred to my husband. Zarkev. General Vargas. I have to be honest with you. I have mixed feelings on letting a woman lead one of my divisions. I do not think that a battlefield is suited for no other than men. I have great fears on how you will act and respond the day this corps will go into battle. I see male officers with no experience crack at the first shots during this war. Now sir, with all due respect, I am more than ready for my posting. I've already had to prove that I can fire a gun and order my troops in the field to earn my commission and keep it. And I'm sure there's differences to do things, so when there's someone on the other side of the field. Except, there is General Vargas. You will send your men against a wall of lead and bayonets. Your soldiers will be wounded, mutilated. There will be smoke and chaos, blood. And you will even have to order your men to march into their own death with no hesitation. Do you understand what I mean, General? Or are you able to handle that? Yes, sir. I have trained day and night for this moment, and come hell, high water, to hellions, I will march my men and women to victory. I guess we'll find out if that's true. Probably quite soon, if the intelligence reports are correct. But I will bring that topic for tomorrow's meeting. Oh, by the way, General. The War Department seems to think it's unfit for a Brigadier General to lead a division, and although I couldn't imagine this scenario, I agree with them. You have been promoted to Major General, and I've been tasked to handle you these gold stars. Congratulations, General Vargas. Please make sure you earn these. I have no higher expectations from you than the other division COs, but, well, you're dismissed, General. Thank you, sir. I won't let you down, sir. I'll see you at tomorrow's meeting. Major Obama, come to my office. How'd you know I was still here? You are my intelligence officer, am I correct? Yes, General. Well, I guess I would have told you so anyway. Sir, I do think you worry too much about General Vargas. I mean, she's not like Trump in any way. She seems honest and a fighter. Did I mention Colonel Trump? Why do you think I'm worried about him, or that she like him? Because I know you, sir, more than you know. I know you too, Major, more than you know. By the way, could you bring me some more coffee before you leave? Of course, sir. This time, you can skip the coffee and just bring what you usually put in my coffee. So you know. Who told you? Captain Biden. Damn you, Joe. That man can't keep his secret if you pay him $1 million. It's okay, Major. I have no questions about that. Actually, I must thank you for it. For me, that whiskey is like a medicine. Oh, that's great, General. I'll go fix that coffee for you now. Do so, Major. Once again, thank you to everybody who adds diaries, letters, newspaper clippings to the backstory of this campaign. As I've been saying in every previous episode, they had a lot of enjoyment to doing this for me. And it's keeping kind of an old game going well alive and longer for me than I think it would for most people. So especially thank you to Rainy Day Today and Sonar Ball / Amy Vargas for their Daywood, Trump, Amy Vargas contributions, and everybody else who's contributed so far. But those two take special mention because they've been keeping up with every episode and giving me more material to work with. All right, I do not see any particular combat happening at the moment. So I'll be back with the next incident. All right, just a quick aside here. We have a new unit ready to go. The 1st Polish Legion has finished their training. They're now ready to get transferred. And I do believe they're going to the Army of the East. No. Do I have anybody who's short brigades right now? Yep, they will be going to the Army of the East. And it looks like I'm going to find a new division commander because I'm going to form a 3rd division because the Spicy Balloon Brigade is probably going to go with them. If anybody's wondering why I'm not putting anything to the Army of Tennessee, it just has to do with storyline purposes. Yeah, the last of the original armies that does not have 3 full infantry divisions, so they're going there. Okay. So I'm going to have to figure out who's getting promoted. And figure out which division number this is going to be. I think it's going to be the 8th division. Yeah, it'll be the 8th division. Okay. No, I'm not going to hold everybody up while I figure out who the new division commander will be. I'll bring it up at the next chance I get. All right, another quick aside here. I figured out who the new division commander is going to be, and that is Thomas Crittenden. He was the commander of the Blue Run Bourbon Rifles of the Celtic Division. They are now commanded by William Bull Nelson. All right, let's go back to Army East. New division. Did not put Crittenden in charge right off the bat. No, Burnside, you are not getting that. Crittenden, the job is yours. And if anybody's wondering how I got the division number, come on. It's just in the order that they were stood up. So you'll see some mixed division numbers in the other corps, and that's just because that's the order in which the divisions were stood up at the time. All right. Spicy Balloon Brigade will be joining this division also. And just as a reminder to everybody, you do not have to be a channel member, just a viewer, and be subscribed to the channel, and you can request a brigade in one of my armies. Just let me know in the comments below type of unit stays from, weapons, uniforms, officers. And I'll oblige you on all counts if possible. It's not always possible to oblige on officers and weapons, or even the state that you're looking for, but I will do my best. All right. Now that some administrative stuff is out of the way, Army East Tennessee, Army of the Tennessees, almost to Charleston. And Army East is now resecuring Frederick. It looks like Department of Western Florida has retreated north of there, so we will be chasing them down. All right, it's now June 27th, and we have ourselves an engagement at Gettysburg. So the Army of the East has run down the Department of Western Florida, who retreated north to Gettysburg for probably to, get shoes or something like that. Wink, wink. We do have a vast numerical superiority over them, as they are below a division strength at this point. We're bringing 16,500 infantry, 2,100 cavalry, and 10 guns against their 5,800 infantry, 571 cavalry, and 15 guns. So it's going on 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So we're going to have about 8 hours to engage them, because they will withdraw overnight. So we're going to close in as quickly as possible with our cavalry and hopefully lock them in place for the infantry to get in on them. So let's jump into this. Welcome, my grunts, to the Battle of Gettysburg. So not going to be as grand as the original Battle of Gettysburg, but we are here. We very, very rarely get to play on this map. So the rebels are defending over here along the Carlisle Road, right at the road junction, Carlisle Road and Newville Road at the Bloker House. And they're also defending Oak Hill. So they are defending northern end map, because that's where they were. We're coming in from dead south along the Tawny Town Road. So we're going to move my cavalry straight up through town as fast as possible. It's 11:30. So I'm going to try and lock them down as much as possible and get my infantry in there to finish the job. So no grand plan here, because we just heavily outnumber them. We're just going to run up there and kick them in the face as hard as we can. Cavalry lead, with the Celtic Division marching behind. 7th Division behind them. 8th is not on the field yet. Actually, it might be a dumb move. I'm going to move the arty up right behind the cavalry. Might be a bad idea, might be a good idea. It's just a one battery, so one battery generally goes faster than the entire artillery division does. Oh, it's 2 batteries. These are only 2 batteries that are not battalion strength left in the armies because I need 2 battalion strength batteries to replace them, so they have yet to be replaced. Yeah, I'm going to run them up behind the cavalry. Hopefully they don't clog the road for the infantry. Hoping. Doesn't mean they won't. And we'll leave the engineers behind because they're still working on their engineering perks. I'm just going to have them back here. Where are they? Just haven't clicked. We're going to leave them behind and just, build walls, Trump fashion. All right, I'll be back once we have contact with the rebels. All right, it's now 1340. I've had the rebels sighted for a while. They were pretty well turtled up over here on Oak Hill. 2 brigades and entrenchments here, plus a brigade here, and 2 more here. And it looks like they're shoving forward Chalmers' brigade towards the Brandenburg Dragoons, which I had over on this flank. I'd sent the Ross's Raiders up to secure the objective over by the Blocher House. And my 2 batters over here on the hill at the Pennsylvania College firing down on their batteries. Chalmers is about to be in for a bad day because I sent the entire Celtic division to line up inside the railroad cut. Probably would have been a bad idea to begin with, but I'm kind of glad I sent them over here now. Yeah, railroad cut's not a good place for anybody to be at Gettysburg. But he's got a whole division bearing down on him now, and he's out of position from support of the rest of the rebel army. The 7th Division is on its way over to support Ross's cavalry on the Carlisle Road. Because I have a feeling once we secure this point, the rebels in the entrenchments might come out and push down on them. So I am double timing the Blue Run Bourbon rifles into position, but it looks like we'll be engaging a little early here. About to be in range of both the Brandenburgs and the Blue Run Bourbons. So I might shift my point of attack because in them I may not. If we see these boys off fairly easily. You guys don't have sharps yet. Thought everybody with sharps. Okay. There you go. You're in a bad spot, Chalmers. Down in the railroad cut, getting fired upon. Oh. Shades of Gettysburg. Where we're at. Not a good spot, buddy. There they go. See the Irish Legion and the Scotch Guard coming up the road behind. Don't go too far, boys. Oh, they're moving the battle line because Chalmers there. All right, they're seen off, so we can continue moving the rest of these boys into position. Hopefully we get the road cleared before the rest of the division arrives. I doubt it. And thankfully, we haven't taken any return fire on our batteries, so they cleared off 1 battery already. Looks like they put some detachment onto it. Yep, there they go. And there goes the orders. Hopefully we get the road clear before the brigades get tied up into each other. Kind of enjoying this so far. The rebels haven't done anything outside of sending Chalmers forward. Haven't really done anything I'd call stupid yet, and allowing the battle to develop a little better. Here comes the 7th Infantry through town. You guys move at the double. Let's get this area cleared up so we can push in. I'm going to send the Celtic division straight across the field in an advance, right up to about here, which should engage everybody here. Guns, skirmishers, plus the brigades. And then we'll send the 7th up straight at the trenches because these brigades should be turned out of it by then. Don't get your wings too close, please. Looks like our guns are still having some good effect. They're only 10-pound parrots. I don't have 20-pounders for them. I don't have enough 20-pounders produced at all, but we're working on it. Coming up on the July monthly, so we'll see what weapons we have available. Come on, Norwegian Vikings, you're falling behind. This will keep our boys out of artillery shot. Nelson only lost 2 men in that engagement. Brandenburgs are down 26. They'd lost 8 men previously to artillery fire. So... where's Meade? There he is. And I'm coming up to this crossroad here. Probably move him here. Kind of need you centered. I'm going to have to physically control him now, but I need him centered on the division so we can give the advance orders to everybody properly. I thought about attacking the apex right here, where the line bends, but I didn't think I'd be able to get a proper attack at that location. All right, boys. Let's go. Scots Guards. Irish Legion under Kelly. Blue Runs. Hard advance, boys. And the 7th's almost in position. Once the Celtic division kicks off, we'll start sending the 7th forward at the entrenchments. So you got the Florida Brigade, 1,100 men, and Jackson's Brigade, which is probably another Florida Brigade, 1,100 men. It's probably all the men in the state. You guys have secured that. Get out of loose order. Get mounted. My mouse has felt wonky the last couple of days. What's with the weird turning? Should have been a straight line advance. What's going on? Probably has to do with getting out of the cut. That should have been a glorious looking advance across that field. It's turned into anything but. Come on, Norwegians, get in position. Who's firing? Skirmishers? Yep. Probably hitting the wing of the Irish Legion. Come on, get out of the cut. Damn mouse. Let's go, boys. I don't know what the hell's going on here. Get your act together. Oh, it's the brigade firing. Florida Engineer Brigade, so they probably got Whitworths, and they're hitting the blue runs. All right, Whiskey Rebels. Why can't I give you divisional order? Go advance. Vikings advance. Hoosier Hellions right up the center. Ross's Raiders. Come down the road here. We're going to try and get you behind them onto the retreat path. Yo, blue runs are engaged. Catch up, Scots. You should have been more advanced than this at this point. Brothers are taking fire because you're lagging. Lagging. That's kind of pissing me off. There we go. Get on them. Pushing those skirmishers. Chalmers in charge. I can't remember exactly. Turn off the double time. Wipe out those Florida horsemen. Florida's going to hell today, boys. Staff. Hopefully that took him down. Or hopefully not. I want somebody better taking command. Now our Sleeven's already over 100 casualties. Jeez. Then a big walk into canister fire from that Florida light artillery. Strength of 70 with 75 casualties. I think they only had 70 men to start with, so they're like replace their numbers magically. Looks like he's starting to withdraw. There they go. Come on, we get the major victory, boys. Let's do it. Keep firing while you're moving. I'll start doing come back this way. Burgers get mounted. Should have done that already. Keep gunning them down. Give me one volley into the Florida Brigade, then we'll charge in. Florida Home Guard there, too. They stripped Florida. Everybody put this division together. Now go get them, boys. You make me a gift to these brigade. Come on. Nope. Shite. I think we came up just short of getting that major victory. That was Ruggles. I keep saying that. Alright, so we took down 900 of their 6,000 infantry, 150 to 600 cavalry, got all 15 of their guns. So we lost at 1,200 men of their 6,500. We lost 323 of our 16,503 infantry. About 4 to 1 on the casualties, so not too bad there. 73 of our 2,176 cavalry, 0 of our guns, total loss to 396 of our 2,810 men. Yeah, 3 to 1 on the casualties. All right, time for the combat reports. We didn't lose anybody, did we? No, we did not. All right, 8th is still forming. Engineers did not fight. 3rd Cavalry Division. Ross's Raiders did 107 infantry, receiving 8 dead, 41 wounded, and 2 missing, 51 losses. Aggregate strength 1,043, 5% losses. And the Brandenburg Dragoons did 24 to infantry, with 5 dead, 20 wounded, and 1 missing. Aggregate strength 1,056, 2% casualties. 7th Infantry did not get into the fight. Celtic Division. So Irish Legion should be the top line. Did 234 to infantry, 55 to artillery for a total of 289. Blue Run Bourbon Rifles did 321 to infantry, 146 to cavalry, captured 9, 14 artillery for a total of 490. And the Scots Guards did 152 to infantry, plus up to 156. They did catch some of the Ruggles command staff there. Total 935 for the division. Losses. Irish Legion, 25 dead, 93 wounded, 22 missing for a total of 140. Aggregate strength, 2,538. 5% casualties. Blue Run Bourbons, 12 dead, 57 wounded, 19 missing, total of 88. Aggregate strength, 2,557. 3% casualties. Scots Guards, 12 dead, 71 wounded, 12 missing, total 95. Aggregate strength, 2,715. 3% casualties. 3% for the division. Now, the artillery division did quite a bit of firing with no return fire. Go Block's battery did 29 to infantry, 18 artillery, total 47, and Copeland's lumberjacks did 28 to infantry, 2 to cavalry, 17 artillery, also a number of 47. 94 for the division, and they took no return fire whatsoever. All right, let's see if we got any of their officers. I'm surprised we didn't get Ruggles because we caught his command staff, so I'm surprised we did not get Ruggles. Wounded, WGM Davis of the 1st Florida and Colonel Perry of the Florida Home Guards. All right, we got 2 regimental commanders, really. All right, get closed out of here, and I'll see you all at the newspaper screen. Victory at Gettysburg. Department of Western Florida retreating in panic. And poor old Colonel Chalmers loses face. I don't think he deserves that. They sent his brigade forward on its own, probably pushed away the Brandenburg Dragoons, not realizing there was an entire infantry division marching down on his flank. So he does not deserve that in the least bit. But he wasn't the first unit to break. The artillery broke before him. So, but it is what it is. Battle of Gettysburg is ending with the Department of Western Florida retreating in panic. My command has earned its total victory. The unit reported suffered total casualties of 1,179 men. There were 170 killed and 208 captured. Our casualties totaled 400 men, with 62 dead, 56 missing, and the rest were wounded. We captured 487 rifles and 6 guns from the field and sent 204 soldiers off to our vacation camps. As much as you can vacation in Ohio. I honestly did not expect them to fight, but they did fight. So that battle was more of a skirmish in the grand scheme of things. So I did have a lot of fun. I was actually allowed to do some maneuvering, set up a proper attack, before the rebels actually do what I normally do. And it's like, oh, you're right there, and surge at me. Didn't happen this battle, so I'm very happy about that. So the battle developed the way it should properly develop. So we're going to keep going. So normally, even if we don't have another battle, I'd cut it at the July 1st date for the monthly, but I'll probably run us past that just to see what happens. Because that was short. That was very short. For as fun as it was short. It looks like we've almost secured Charleston. As soon as Charleston is secured, we are going to head right straight west to St. Louis. And we can take once we march, they're going to have to march out of Western Virginia because there's no rail lines here. But once they're there and hit the rail lines at Chillicothe, they can take the rails all the way to St. Louis. Brightness will probably be low because of that, but we should be able to take on Longstreet. I'm hoping it'll be the first real test of the Army of the Tennessee. All right, I'll be back with the next incident, which will probably be the July monthlies. It's now June 29th of 1862, and we have formed the state of Kanawha, or West Virginia. Virginia divided, Union victorious in the mountains, new axis of attack open, Southern morale wavers. Recent campaigns in Western Virginia and the Kanawha Valley have been a great success for the Union armies, and they now control the mountain region and all the important towns. Confederate forces were removed from the area. The local citizens who mostly support the Union and voted against secession early in 1861 are preparing to form a new independent state loyal to the Union. But what will the name be? Kanawha, Allegheny, Augusta, Columbia, New Virginia, but Vandalia perhaps? What best describes a state formed of the western part of Virginia? Geographically, this is a stinging blow to Confederacy. Most mountainous and difficult terrain to support armies in, West Virginia offers them a route to undertake operations under the Shenandoah Valley. The benefits of the region's mining industry will now go to the Union. There we go. There's a laurel in your hat, Daywood. You've actually helped accomplish something real this campaign. I'm going to let them rest here till at least July 21st before I march them out. July 1st before I march them out. Let them get their readiness up a little bit. So the plan for West Virginia, I've actually already shifted plans up here. The Army of the East is now pushing towards Winchester. Hopefully we'll shove the Department of Western Florida out of the way. And they're going to hold that Winchester. I'm no longer going to build a fortification here. I'm going to build it at Winchester, block the crossroads here, and then have the Engineer Corps build another fort here and another fort here. Now that West Virginia is secure, the Army of the Ohio is going to continue pushing down into Salem, outside of Lynchburg. And hopefully the Army of the East will be pushing south with them towards Stanton. And we'll shut the valley down to rebel use. That's my hope, at least. And that will basically help tighten up the Washington, D.C. front. I do expect a lot of battles here to continue happening. But maybe we can open ourselves up to a little bit more maneuver warfare. All right, looks like I'll be back. All right, it's now July 1st, so it's time to go over the monthlies. Starting with economy. Current rating of our nation is A, which is very good. Our debt increased by 25 million. I don't remember cutting a bond, but possibly we did. Our liabilities now amount to 165 million. Current economy cycle is recovery. The wealth of our population is below average and increasing compared to the previous month. Our tax revenues, it says it increased by 322 million. I'm not so sure about that. It says no buildings were constructed last month, though we did build a depot. Total export volume last month was 657 million out, with 668 coming in. Average core production over the last 3 months was 430 million, a change of negative 38. That really doesn't make much sense to me. And we should not lack food. We have the farming industry up north. Food, we should not lack. Coffee, we can lack because we don't control the southern ports. And we shouldn't have a problem with wool. So I don't understand where those shortages are coming from, but it is what it is. Looking at finances. We're still spending 184 million a month more than we are bringing in, though that is a decrease of what we've seen previously, so our revenues did go up. Tariffs are now 116 million, sales taxes at 47, income tax 129 million, 30 million from land sales. Total revenues are 322 million. Running 129 million on buildings. Army upkeep's at 116 million per year. I think we'll get this equaled out in the next month or two, possibly. Possibly. We'll see. All right, intelligence. All right, rebels are doing recruitment bounty 1s. I think they're still working on that last month also. They completed a military railroad project. Relations with Britain and France are still at 39%. They haven't moved recently. It says they have recruited 0 men and 0 brigades and start construction on 3 new ships, but I do not think that is correct. Because I seen, when I clicked on some of these units, they're getting some plus up in numbers. Like Department of Richmond's going from 6,500 to 9,000. Army of the Peninsula is going from 6,000 to 8,000, unless they're transferring out of other units. Did have Beauregard's Corps sighted here, but I've lost sight of them. Some of these units look like they were getting a major plus up. Yeah, Hardy's going from 15,000 to 29,000. So our intelligence is not accurate. And Longstreet, I think, was getting a big plus up too. No, he's at 15,000. I could have sworn he was getting more men. Oh, they stripped the men from him. He had a higher... My intelligence reports on him are not very accurate. He had a higher number the last time we looked at him. So he's more in line with the side of Daywood's army now than previously. What about the Western Army? 2,100. Oh, they're stripping the Western armies. That's what they're doing. They're stripping the Western armies of men. Indian Army still at 6,000. That's exactly what they're doing. They're stripping their what they did. They just stripped Missouri of a lot of its troops because Longstreet had like 3 times that number. Well, if we look at strategy, McClellan's still in charge of our armies, sadly. National morale, we're at 67 to their 72. National support, we're at 74 to their 91. Morale armies, we're at 84 to their 64. Men in the field, we have 115,807 in the field. They have 190,225. All right, looks like some of their contracts have come up. Even though they should be at permanent status, they have... Because the amount of casualties that we have caused should not see a reduction in numbers like this. Because they had well over 200,000. They had almost 300,000 men in the field a few months ago. We haven't caused that many casualties. Naval tonnage, we have 133,000 tons. They're now up to 131,000 tons. So they are about to match us in naval tonnage. Probably surpass us at some point. Battles won, we're at 38 to their 16. Total casualties, we're sitting at 28,784. They're sitting at 68,772. So we're doing very well on the casualty output there. All right, policies. We are still working on Industrialization 3. We're waiting for Chapter 3 to open up so I can do some more tax policies, like Revenue Act 2. And Government Funding 3 so I can do the Bank Act. And that will equalize our funding. I know everybody's going to scream at me to get the USCT troops in emancipation, but as long as McClellan's in charge of our armies, and he's very politically well connected, he's going to prevent Lincoln from doing that. So until he's out of command of the armies, it's not going to be happening. All right, coming back over, we do have the East Coast Squadron now leaving port at New York and heading south to their next attack position, which is Fort Macon. Yep. Over by Port Moorhead is their next target. The grunts are probably going to be stuck in Washington, D.C. Up until the winter starts, because the readiness is coming up, and not as quickly as I would like. I'd like to get them back in Alexandria. I don't know if that's going to happen. As I said previously, Army of the East is now on its way to Winchester. They just shoved the Department of Western Florida out of their way again because they were over here at Harvest Ferry recovering. It's now July 1st, so we're going to issue orders to Daywood to cut directly west towards St. Louis. So probably taking at least about 2 or 3 days to get out of West Virginia. And once he's on the rails, he'll be moving fast because it took him about 3 days to get from Point Pleasant to Charleston. It's not easy going terrain over here. Army of the Ohio has completed their depot, and the readiness is now improving a little more readily. So as soon as they're ready to go, I may actually have to have them go over here and engage field. As much as I want to push them into Salem, possibly Lynchburg, that's probably going to have to be Army of the East on its own. I just don't have enough corps to cover every point of attack I'd like to cover. So I'm leery of moving the Army of Mississippi with Hardee over here and this corps here. If I move him, one of these two corps will make a move. So we gotta wait and see what they do. Surprised I'm not retaking Louisville plus the depot there, even though I've emptied the depot out. I'm surprised they have not retaken it. Same with the depot over here at Hartford. Actually, I'm going to burn this down. I don't need to pay for that thing. We have no troops operating in that area. I haven't moved on Cairo. I'm kind of tempted to take on Longstreet, the Independent Cavalry Corps. Probably a bad idea, though. It's still a big numbers disparity. Still a big numbers disparity. And before I forget, we got to look at projects. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself with the map there. Signable only. What do we got? We're not going to take another level of railroad construction. Should take another level of infrastructure reform. But that uses industry dollars, and I'm saving that up for another level of military factories. Oh, I can unlock repeating rifles soon. This will give me the Henrys and Spencers. I want another level of... Oh, we got to save up a while for another level of weapon production. He's 3.9 million. We have 2.1 million funded. Is that industry or... Because the colors are very similar for industry. Yeah, it's the same. Because industry and military, their color is so simple. They are two different colors, but they're so similar. You can't tell them apart. That's something the devs should have changed a long time ago. Yeah, because military funding we got plenty of. I don't need supply reform. Military education we don't need. Would like another level of logistics reform. Even military railroad. I've never actually taken this before. It'd actually make our movement on the rails faster, but I think we kind of move fast enough on the rails. Railroad movements are not something I've ever had an issue with in this game. What's going on with our ironclad stuff? I think I'm going to have to start producing. I can produce ironclads. I don't need the rebuilds. Iron warships would be nice. That's a long time to save up for, and they would definitely not be ready before the campaign's over. Need military 3 for command reform. We'll hold off on that now, but we are definitely going to take farm mechanization because this will increase the output from our farms and the number of volunteers available. Take Cornus King, that just helps us with Britain, and we don't need that. I'm trying to do stuff that's going to piss them off. Can increase the effectiveness of our blockades. Yeah, let's take a level of that. And level of farm mechanization. And we got to save up the industry money. Along with the politics money, because I want another level of administration reform, which we're almost to. Things are looking good for us. For as back and forth the battles in Virginia have been, we are definitely making headway out in the West. All right, so like I said, last battle's pretty short, so we're going to keep going until we hit our next one. All right, it's now July 3rd, and we have ourselves another engagement at DC. I don't even know what battle of DC this is anymore. Ugh. I keep saying I have to go back through and rewrite the battle list, and I still have not done that yet, so I have no idea what number battle this is. But we have the Army of Kanawha, which is new. Or newish, under command of Albert Jenkins, attacking DC. I think they were trying to slip past us. I don't know where the hell they were attempting to go. But he's only got 5,500 infantry, 1,300 cavalry, and 4 guns, going up against my grunts, which 18,854 infantry, 1,700 cavalry, and 34 guns. And it's late in the day. So there's going to be another battle where I'm going to be trying to get my cavalry up on them as quickly as possible and not let this force get away. So let's jump into this. Welcome, my grunts, to the umpteenth battle of Washington, D.C. And once again, this is going to be another battle that's more of a skirmish than anything. So we are on the defensive. It's 1,700. Like I said, they are going to retreat overnight if we do not rush them. So my plan for right now is to rush my cavalry up the road. And I'm not sure how far advanced we're going to be able to get before we run into them. I want to try and get my cavalry onto these heights right here with their battery, because we do have a horse battery with this cavalry division. So I'm going to be double timing the cavalry and their guns there, and they're going to be followed up by the Whiskey Viking division, now under command of Emuson. And that should be all I need for this fight. Should be. Doesn't mean it will be. But we're going to be able to do quite a bit of damage to them, I believe. So I'm not going to pause this one, wait for contact. Yeah, actually I will. Shouldn't take us long, but still be a few minutes before we have contact. So I'll be back. All right, we won the race with our cavalry. We got the Scion rifles on the left, dismounted, loose order in the tree line. We're going to have the Nugget Squad on the right, dismounted, loose order, kind of in the open over here. I may push them in. May push them into the tree line. I'm not sure yet. And our battery right in the center. Get unlimbered, boys. They got here with some nice alacrity. Let's get you in better position to protect that artillery. While they are unlimbering. We got here 14th Virginia and the 10th Virginia, followed up by the Gauley artillery. So they pulled these units out of another army. We fought them before, but they were not in the army of the Kanawha. The hell you boys doing? Get in position. I'm still waiting for orders.
Fill those buckets, Private. No foraging. Stay ready.
The cavalry should not have weapons to outrange our cavalry. Whiskey Vikings, are you on the move yet? And still getting your march formation straightened out. We're going to move in double time here. And of course, stockbrokers at the rear of the formation. Of course they are. Where else would Trump be? Right, he'll show up late to the party and take the glory. Yep, sounds like the firing has started.
Get that dirty rebel.
Boys push forward. Get some canister into them. There we go. Only 3-inch guns to the canisters are not very effective, but it looks like we did a fair amount of damage to that regiment. Good job, Cyan Rifles and the Arty Party. As soon as we clear this regiment, we'll get them over to counter battery fire. Once the infantry arrives, we'll just push them forward. Why are you bypassing the Swimus now? What are you doing, Vegasic? Everybody should be at the double. Get command of them, Swimusen. Or Emusis. To protect the Arties so far. Good. There we go. Good hit. Now go for counter battery fire. Honestly, I don't think they've received the change of orders yet. That's why they're still coming on the road the way they are. These guys should have gone into battery already. Shows them as having 0 guns. I got no idea what these boys are doing. The Cyans are leveling up nicely.
Save your water for when the shooting starts. Save your water for when the shooting. Save your water for when the shooting starts.
Here's the 20th. Push you boys right up the road. Oh, wait, Division Commander's not here yet. Where the hell are you? Get up here.
Keep the cadence, damn you! One!
So Trump's in the Sweemoos. I think we might give Trump his shot at glory right here.
Keep the cadence, damn you! One! Come on, boys. Keep the cadence, damn you! One!
Almost 1800. We got to get a move on if we really want to do some damage.
Keep up the fire!
All right, Trump. I'm going to give you the glory that you so much want. You could say you took on the entire Confederate army on your lonesome and saved the cavalry. We'll see if that happens or not.
Don't stop to reload! Run, Johnny, run!
I didn't get rid of the nuggets, okay.
Don't stop for the wounded. Keep moving.
Come on, Trump, you have your orders. Get a move on.
Never mind the wounded. Keep firing. Keep up the fire.
Oh, now he's going to take his time.
Gun up.
Should have done this to him when my avatar was in command.
Gun up. Move. I'll cover. Keep moving. Don't stop to reload.
Come on, Trump.
Stop to reload.
He's not going to get up in time to take part. Once again, showing a case of the slows. Yeah, they're showing winded. Let's march. Yeah, moving just as fast marching as they were double timing. They're probably going to break before he even gets to them. They should be, yeah, they're starting to withdraw. So all I needed for this fight was really just the cavalry. Thankfully, the Scions have a bit of a height advantage where they are. The Nuggets are, yep, and there they go. They're leaving. I was giving you a chance at glory, Trump, and you screwed the pooch on it. Yeah, cavalry, Continue on with the job. Chase him down.
Save your water for
Those guys got Whitworths. Just hold your men, Trump. You're just gonna be in the way to cavalry now.
Save your water for when the shooting starts.
Too slow to the fight, and when you show up, you're in the way again.
Slide in the rank.
Here they go. 4 minutes on the clock. My cavalry's not going to catch up because they're now intermingled with Trump's brigade. Just speed this along. Once again, a skirmish in the grand scheme of things. We took down 300 of their 5,500 infantry, 250 of their 1,400 cavalry, got 0 of their guns. I don't know why one battery show does not have any guns. Total 550 of their 7,000 men. We lost 5 infantrymen out of Trump's brigade, 39 of our 1,700 cavalry, 0 of our guns. Total loss of 46 of our 21,000 men. So, tight little skirmish. Trump, I blame you. Because we could have bagged more of these men. I blame you. Not like it matters because my avatar is no longer in command of the army, but hopefully there'll be a nice scathing newspaper report about him. Our combat report. So it was just a gotcha guard that fought. Cyan Rifles did 156 to infantry, 195 to cavalry, 35 to artillery, for total 386. Nugget Squad did 61 to infantry, 14 to cavalry, for total 75. And the Artie Party did 24 to infantry, 32 to cavalry, for total 56. Division total 517. Losses, Cyan Rifles, 7 wounded. That's actually really damn good. Nugget Squad, they were kind of below in low ground, so they kind of took more shots than they really should have. 4 dead, 25 wounded, 3 missing, total 32, 4% casualties. Artie Party had 2 men wounded. So 41 losses for the division, 2% total casualties. Let's see if we got any of their officers in that. Wounded Colonel Jackson, the 14th Virginia Cavalry. And that's it. Like I said, skirmish in the grand scheme of things. Just a skirmish. I'll get close out of here and I'll see you on the newspaper screen. Victory at the umpteenth Battle of Washington, D.C. I really do have to go back and rebuild the battles list. And Colonel Deese loses face, probably one of the regimental commanders. Well, Washington, D.C. is in with the Army cannon while retreating in panic. The unreported suffered total casualties of 540 men. They have 101 killed and 108 captured. Our casualties total 46 men, with 4 dead, 3 missing, and the rest wounded. Captured 232 rifles and 1 gun from the field and sent 103 soldiers off to our vacation camps. I do not know what Jenkins was thinking. That was just a horrible idea. Whatever he was thinking was a horrible idea. And I don't know what the hell's happening over here, but the Army of the East, I've seen this happen before. Like, our army's hung up on the river here. So let's just give them halt orders. I'm going to have to reissue their movement orders because they've been hung up on this river for days now. They should have been in Winchester before July 1st. They've just been hung up there. Just trying to reissue those orders. You don't have any rail or anything orders, so you should be able right across the ford and up into the town. I don't know what happened there. Army of the Tennessee is now out of West Virginia. Oh. There's a rebel corps here. I'm going to issue you halt orders, and I'm going to get you your first taste of combat. That's if they're in any condition to fight. So that's the corps that was down at Paintville, I think. That's the corps that was down at Paintville. This works out for us very well. Should be the Army of the Ohio engaging them, but this works out in our favor. That's the army that was here. Allow the Army of the Ohio to recover a bit more and actually get some movement done. It's kind of delaying my plans here in the west, but with them reducing the number of troops out here, that works in our favor. But that is not going to be this episode. We're going to be ending this one here. So, 2 small battles, monthly done, but we have finally advanced the game into July. So it's taken us a while to get here, but we are finally into July of 1862. And Department of Richmond looks like it's on the move. I don't see any of their big corps in the area. I think they might have retreated into the heartland of Virginia and might be regrouping. But with the Army East hung up here at Harper's Ferry on the crossing, which is really friggin' annoying the hell out of me. I don't know what else to do for now. Yeah, he's using up all of his supplies just being stuck here on the river. But like I said, we're going to end this one here. So once again, if you're a new viewer, returning viewer, you're not yet subscribed, please think about hitting that subscribe button. If you do, remember that bell icon so next video comes out. Follow along in the series and enjoying it. Don't forget to bayonet that like button and butt stroke that comment section. And I will see you all at the next episode. Stay grumpy.